Welcome to the Image Home Improvement Show. We've got a great lineup planned for you today. I'm Steve Deubel.
And I'm Terry of Terry's Consign and Design Furnishings.
I'm Dan Hayden of DEC Building Consultants.
And we've got all the information you need to know to keep your home in tip-top shape. One of the things we're going to share with you today is our fabulous reveal on our home renovation project. And I know, Dan, we've brought this home from the depths of despair to something that a new homeowner could be very proud of.
It was almost a cliff dweller. In other words, almost over the cliff.
Almost went over, but we saved it. Check this out.
Well, sometimes my wife comes along with me on these deals, and I have a lot of those moments where experience pays off. We bought a home in Apache Junction back in probably '09. A big, beautiful home on a big, huge lot. Had an extra house on it, and her and a friend decided to go in the house and take a look at the house, and they made the mistake, as all rookies do, is they opened up the refrigerator. And I'm outside not knowing what's going on. I just hear them screaming and yelling and gagging as they ran out the front door. Well, they opened up a refrigerator that had been closed up for probably months, if not years, with meat and dairy products and other things like that. We always know rookies in the industry when we see that happen. Usually I just have my guys haul that stuff off, throw it in the dumpster, and get it out of the house. But that was a good experience for my wife to learn about what I do every day. A house like this I like to find because, number one, it was way undervalued by the bank, and most investors won't touch it. Most of the investors that are in the market with me, in competition with me today, are looking for the quick fixer-uppers. Throw some paint on the wall, clean the carpets, clean the house, put it back on the market. Doesn't really give you much opportunity for a big profit. Homes like this that most novice investors will walk away from don't see the potential in it. The thing that I saw in this was, number one, the value of the area has been increasing slowly. Number two, there isn't much inventory in this area, which makes it a real good buy if you can pick it up. When I saw this property, I have a lot of realtors out there, a large network of real estate agents that call me up because we are cash buyers. And I tell them, look for the dirtiest, nastiest, ugliest homes they can find, because those usually have the highest potential for profit for us. As long as we're not dealing with major issues. And if the price is right, we can even deal with the major issues. For instance, the new roof on the house, foundation was good, the bones of this house was great. I knew what it really needed was some decent curb appeal, some paint, flooring, carpet, new countertops, brand new bathrooms. Kept it all within budget. Steve and his team kept me within budget, which is the key thing for our industry, is if we don't stay within budget, you're just doing this for free. But all in all, the house itself had great bones, great neighborhood. I've been getting phone calls ever since I took this home for people who want to buy it when it's ready. So I have a nice list of people waiting to buy. Hopefully it'll sell fast. I only hope.
We felt that the existing wiring was okay, and so we made sure that the additional stuff that wasn't okay was removed. All right, in this area over here, we had a ceiling fan that was bolted to the wall, but there was no electrical for it. So I just had a big piece of wire that was kind of stapled to the ceiling, ready to fall into the fan. We noticed after construction was done that there was an outlet in the ceiling was missing for the garage door opener, so we just went ahead and reconduited off the original to make that work as well. Over here we had kind of an add-on conduit that was stuck with some exposed wiring running up the wall, and so we went ahead and got rid of that and made sure that was all safe as well. When we initially got here, it looked pretty bad. There was a lot of stuff in this room that had to go. Some exposed wiring and things that were over in this corner. We brought our guys in and we were able to get this house back into shape. We did most of the stuff in the garage here, some stuff in the laundry room, and we were able to do a lot of things in the kitchen as well, as far as making sure the aluminum to copper connections were safe. And took about a day for one guy to come in and handle all that. Being part of this home renovation is one of the many aspects that Steve has been able to fit us in with. His scheduling was great, and he had a couple of spots for us to kind of slide in and get our work done and get out and get out everybody's way.
Overall, things went real smooth. Being that it was in kind of disarray, it made things a little bit easier to tackle, because that shows that I take care of other people's stuff. I'm looking out for other people's money, and basically everybody gets what they want. People get a new house, it looks good. I get a peace of mind that it was a job that I took pride in, and I know I did a good job. And if I do a good job, the contractor looks good and the homeowners are happy. We didn't know when we came in, everybody was speculating on what that garage would have been. I mean, the lighting situation, the outlets, the vents just poking through the walls at random areas, all of those things. It was a weird setup. And coming back in, I mean, I started looked at the ceilings where there was just ductwork looped around, and was looking at the patchwork from all of the areas that were removed, and then the tiling, the shower, in the new shower in the bedroom that used to be a sunken tub, all those things. I don't get to see very many finished products unless I'm returning for certain things, follow up minor finishing touches, but other than that, I don't normally get to see very many finished products. In this case, I mean, I can't believe that this was in such bad shape, and I mean, it looks wonderful. It doesn't look like the same house. It smells good, and I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's just, to me, everybody coming together, everything, it looks like a brand new house on the inside.
Most buyers, when they walk into any home, I think they really look for it to be clean. You know, I think that's one thing, and especially the women. Men can overlook some stuff, but women, they'll look right inside the drawers, and if they see one little hair or something, they're like, oh, this house wasn't cleaned, you know? And so that we get a kick out of that. So I have always told my staff, I want it to be like a crime scene. I don't want any evidence left, and the evidence is dirt. And one thing I've always learned in this business, I've been doing this for 17 years, is that when a house is clean, the perception is it's been taken care of. Even if it hasn't been taken care of, we can make it look like it's been taken care of. And that's important to a lot of people because they don't want to buy something that they think is going to fall apart. And most homeowners that we do remodels for, or move-ins and move-outs, when we finish up, they're amazed because not only, they usually can get more money for the house, okay, if it's for sale, or vice versa, if they bought the house and they think, oh man, I didn't realize it was going to be this nice, you know. So it's a good feeling. And, you know, and I got to give a lot of credit to my staff because they're the ones that do a lot of the physical work. You know, obviously, you know, we set them up in a situation to win. And I think we truly are the perfectionists, you know, from myself and down to everybody in our company. If I don't believe in it, they can't.
Oh my gosh, this place was a dump. And just the carpet was trash. It was coming apart, it was falling apart. The pad was terrible. There were bed bugs. The carpet tack strips were just absolutely falling apart. Some of them were rotted out, had to be replaced. So it was quite an effort here, quite a challenge. It makes me feel sad for the home because I realize that, you know, this is a structure and it's a living entity too, right? I mean, it's got its purpose, and then but it also creates an opportunity to make a really great product out of something that's not so great. At ABS Floor Covering, we are really the correct contractor to be working on this. We do a lot of commercial work, and as a result of doing a lot of commercial work, we are able to leverage that buying power for our residential clients. We have a showroom. I have thousands of samples and options for people, and we can come to the homeowner's property, the investor's property, or they can come into our showroom and you know, have quite a selection there in-house. This is an example of the product. It's a 25-ounce polyester. It is a what they call a frisé based upon the design. It's got some flex in it. This product is a great product for an investor-type property, and it'll be perfect for the homeowners that are going to be moving in as well. You know, when you walk into this home, you get such a warm feel. You look around, you immediately see the carpet. And you know, wow, what a pop. You know, it's got that nice frisé look. It pops, very comfortable, very warm. And you know what? It's going to make the people feel real happy when they're here every day when they walk in and they see this beautiful flooring. They're going to be really, really happy. I mean, it was quite an accomplishment to take this home from where we were before to where we are now. And you know, that's a big deal. That's a great feeling to be able to help people with their needs and to give them a great value for their dollar.
When we first got to the project itself, there was simply a wall here. There was nothing else. There was an interior room that was kind of makeshift. I guess it was a living quarters of some degree. What we did is we simply came through after the demolition was taken out. We put an entirely new track system, new spring torsion system, vinyl molding up the door, and put in a new operating system. The most important thing with the garage door is the largest moving item in a home. So you have a tremendous amount of safety features. You want to make sure your garage door opener and garage door itself are running smoothly. You want to make sure there's no obstructions. Most importantly, under federal mandates, you want to make sure you have an operator that has several safety features built into it, that it actually senses any resistance at different points of the door. So if your door is ever out of calibration, or there's any type of issue with safety, somebody getting in the way, there's contact with a foreign entity, the motor itself will actually reverse, go back up into a safe position to protect any people and to protect the door itself. Well, the nice thing about the Marantec 4500E, it's got a posi lock system to it. So unless you have access to a remote itself, there's no way that you can gain access to the house. It also has a keyless entry pad. Unless you are the person that coded that in, there is absolutely no way that you would have access to the home itself. Additionally, it has a multifunction wall system that you can actually press a lock button on it, hold it down for 2 seconds. That'll lock out any remote activity to the system. In essence, it simply secures the entire wall itself, so there's no access to the opening itself. In this scenario, the homeowners have a system that's virtually going to last forever. They have an insulated door that's going to be very efficient for the home. They have a motor that's going to virtually last forever because there's no steel-on-steel components. It's very quiet, very silent. Kudos to the homeowners for choosing this home. For those of us at Anytime Garage Door, we are incredibly honored to be involved in this remodel project with Home Improvement. We are grateful that we had an opportunity to spend some time with your viewers, show them an excellent garage door, to show them a fabulous garage door opener.
That was great information. Now stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Do you have questions for our All Pro panel members? Well, we've got your answers. Visit us on the web at 1-800-AskAPro.tv. Your question could be the next one answered right here on our show.
Now, this has to be the reveal of all reveals. A home that was like below scale. Dan, what did you say it was? Like 200, minus 200.
Scrape and run.
To something that would be, it looks just as good as the showroom that we here at Direct Buy today. I mean, what a transformation. Jeff Cadillac from Short This House has all the great information. And Jeff, what do you think?
I love it. I mean, it's what I've seen happen many times in the past. It's a beautiful home. It's something that someone can be proud to live in today, and I can't wait to show it.
Can you give people an idea, like when you'll buy a house, you'll pretty much fix it up before you resell it, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're not even having to do all of that construction and all that,
right,
and figure it out. You know, I think my question is, you know, everyone keeps asking this question: are there still good deals left here? What? Tell me about the prediction about still being able to go out and buy that house that's a lot lower than regular retail.
Yeah, the deals are definitely getting tighter and tighter to find, but the deals that I'm looking at specifically are the really ugly homes. You know, the ones that just need to clean up and paint. There's 1,000 people out there finding those.
Is there a big variety? Are we talking about just, you know, $100,000? What price range?
Yeah, I focus in one price range, and that is the first time and the first time move-up buyer price range, which is below $200,000. Okay. There are still great deals out there. You do have to know where to find them. You have to have a great network in place to find these deals. And so, yeah, they're still out there, absolutely.
So if they're wanting to sell a house, they need to call. If you're starting to have trouble, they want to call you.
Absolutely.
Now, and then also if they're looking for some of those great deals, they also should call you.
I'll put them on a list, and when I find something in the area they're looking in and they want me to rehab it and fix it up for them, because chances are if I find a home, if it's not rehab, they're not going to get the financing.
Got it.
Because the banks will walk in, and again, Dan will walk in and tell you why the banks can't finance. Banks don't want to finance homes that have leaky roofs, bad air conditionings, collapsed walls, bad foundations. That's the stuff that I go in and buy, and you know, my cash isn't. What's the word I'm looking for? My cash doesn't care what the home is, as long as it's a home that I can make look beautiful in a great neighborhood.
Now, just for clarity, so you've got cash to buy the house if someone gets in trouble. What about someone wanting to buy those houses? Do you have advice or help for them to have some cash to buy the house?
Yeah. You know what? I would recommend, number one, they spend some time with a loan officer or a loan originator that can get them approved first. Big mistake I see on offers on my homes is people are coming in, they haven't even been to the bank yet to find out what their credit looks like. They haven't been to the bank to find out if that bankruptcy or foreclosure has cleared. You know, and we won't accept offers on deals like that. So get to the bank first and make sure your finances are in place before you write offers today, because most buyers, or most sellers like myself, are not going to take their home off the market just to, you know, hope that in the next 45 days you can get the loan approved.
After being around Dan so much, I know that the way to really look at that is if I went out and trying to find a home like that myself, I could very easily get into trouble. So you are also working with Dan and Steve and making sure on that house that this is an actual code problem or this is a big problem, and you know that, versus us just walking in and going, oh, isn't that pretty? I think I'll buy it.
Right.
Yep. And up bubbles the sewer in the middle of the living room or something. You know?
Yeah. Or the floor drops.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, but again, there is a definite need. I mean, you know, years ago, I mean, we go back when we talk about the boom times. I mean, the word short sale wasn't even in our vocabulary back then. And, you know, just as fast as that has come into our everyday lives, that other word kind of has drifted away into a black hole. That word equity hasn't been around anymore for a while. Hopefully it'll come back eventually. But in the meantime, we have to deal with these situations. I mean, do you find that there are a lot of people out there dealing with these banks and everything else, and it's either, you know, please help me now or I'm going to sink?
I think most people don't know what to do. You know, they call their real estate agent. Most real estate agents haven't really sold many short sales. There are some great agents out there that actually know how to get them done, great negotiators that know how to get them done. But there's plenty of people out there that just don't know what to do, where to start. And even if it's just me directing them in the right place, I mean, I can tell you I don't buy every home that comes across my desk. I will refer a lot of people to different experts out there that know what to do with their situation. The 20 years experience in the lending industry has helped me a lot with people when they call me to find out what can they do in their situation.
Absolutely. And if you have any questions and you would like to get in touch with Jeff, if particular situation that you're involved in right now and you are crying for help, like I always like to say, homes are crying for paint. Well, how about the homeowners are crying for help to get out from under their particular financial situation? How can they contact you?
Again, they can go to my website, shortthishouse.com, or they can give me a call on my phone, 480-241-4663.
Okay, and if you were very impressed with that renovation reveal that we did for Jeff's home, maybe you have a particular project that you need done, similar situation, check us out on our website.
That was some great information, and now we've got a tip just for you from Image Home Improvement.
Okay, joining us today is the man who cleaned up all our remodeling mess and made the house look awesome. Tim Lee from The Perfectionist. Tim, welcome to the show today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Tell our viewers a little bit about the project, what you encountered when you first walked in. And we all know from the pictures that we've all seen, this house was really, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was like minus 100. I mean, it was in really bad shape.
Yeah, it was in bad shape. I did the walkthrough a few days before we did the cleaning, and there was a lot of work, especially the windows, the cabinets. In general, everything was dirty, so everything had to. Literally every square inch of that house had to be cleaned.
Right, and we want to let our viewers know this wasn't a lot of remodeling dust and debris. This was a lot of dust and debris from the previous owner who had vacated the home and had just left it in complete disarray. It was pretty ugly.
It was filth on top of filth.
Yeah, it was filth, layers of filth on everything. But from what our investor said that he was most impressed with is what you did to basically resurrect the cabinets.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and that was one of my main concerns when I did the walkthrough was the cabinets themselves were in really rough shape. We had to take a toothbrush to them. We put pure lemon oil on them when we were done. So when they got finished, not only were they clean, but they were actually shiny, like basically brand new cabinets.
Now, Terry knows a lot about furniture restoration. I'm sure you've got a whole bunch of questions for Tim.
Oh, I do. You know, when you were talking about the cabinets, what we usually do is like double-aught steel and like Old English. You can get the different colors, dark wood. So I bet you use some of that too.
That's what we did. Yeah.
Now, I was thinking about it. You could probably use a toothbrush to get in? Because the still is so that it does get into the grain. But you could probably use the toothbrush, and you use that so you could get into that grain.
Yeah, and a lot of the bottom of the cabinets where the dust settled, and it just was ground in there with grease from cooking and things like that. That gets in there, and you have to literally scrub it out of there. The big concern that you have when you're doing cabinets is that if you put too much chemical on it to get it clean, it could literally take the finish off. So it's kind of a touch and go there. So you got to do a fine line and then hit it with the oil, and that shines it up nice.
So you not only do restorations, you also do people's homes?
Oh, yes, yeah. We clean homes on a weekly, bi-weekly basis. We do a lot of move-out cleans.
Oh, fabulous. I'm going to have to put some business cards in the store because we just get people all the time that have just moved here. We got a lot of Canadians moving in, and people are always asking for services.
Yeah, that's
so that's
true.
good to hear. My question would be, I have white tiles in our bathrooms at the stores. That is so hard to get white tile clean. Yeah. It's like you go over it with a mop, you have to do it 4 times. What's the secret?
Yeah, well, the secret is before you clean the tile, you need to either sweep it or vacuum it. We use high-pressure vacuums, so we get into the grout and stuff. The grout lines themselves are really what makes it difficult, depending on the color of grout you have.
Sure.
If you have white grout, you want to use as very little water as possible because they serve as drains for the tile. So that's why your grout is getting dirty. So.
All right. Get those rooms cleaned.
Dan, you see many homes that look like should be thrown away.
In other words, they just scrape the slab and burn.
If you had to rate this house at the beginning, what number would you give it?
I would give it a -200 because it should have been knocked down and
should have been
break up the
bulldozed,
slab
right?
and just start over with the whole lot.
But you got to remember, though,
it was that bad. It was that. It just gave you the feeling of I don't want to be in here.
But one of the gratifications to be able to do is to go back and restore something that looked like it could have been thrown away. Yeah, absolutely. But to restore it back to a point where it is sellable again, and people can walk in and be proud of their home. That's what it's all about. We restored it. We made it usable. We didn't have a lot of land debris. We didn't fill up the landfill with tons of slump block and roofing material. We actually restored it, now made it a home for somebody to live in a great neighborhood.
And got the garage back.
And they got the garage back.
Now, I noticed you also say moving, and that's interesting. You put those two together. I think, actually, one of your trucks brought some furniture to our stores.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
All right. See? Yeah. So he does a little bit of moving on the side. And then, my mom was my inspiration for my business. How about, I heard your dad was an inspiration from you, from our producer.
Yeah, my dad was in the Air Force back in the late 50s. And so when my dad was the cleaner in our house. So I guess I get that from him.
I like that.
When I left my bedroom, it had to be spotless. My beds the crease had to be made on them perfectly, just the way he was.
Things had
Military.
to be perfectly.
Oh, you bet. That's just the way he was.
Tim, how can our viewers contact you?
They can go to our website at theperfectionist.net, or they can reach us by phone, 602-493-1233.
That was great information. Now stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey, joining us today is Scott Stafford from SOS Exterminating. And Scott, I have to tell you, the home, there's no bugs there at all. All those bugs are gone. Everything that we needed to eradicate is gone, and it's really good. Tell our viewers a little bit more about how you came to that and how you got rid of all those bad things in the home.
Well, we did discover that there were subterranean termites, and I pointed out to you, the areas where the bushes were, and the sunken tub. I wouldn't call it a tub; it was a sunken shower, more or less. Were 2 of the problematic areas at the home. So, we basically treated all around the entire perimeter of the house. In the concrete areas, you basically have to drill through the concrete and inject the termiticide in there, so that you have a continuous barrier around the perimeter to protect it. And then inside, where we did find the termites in the cracks that we showed in the floors and in the tub area, we drilled through the concrete there and injected it into the soil. So as the termites travel into it, they will get it on themselves and carry it back to the termite colonies.
When you're looking at your own house and trying to decide if you do have a termite problem, are you better to look inside or outside?
Generally, you want to start your inspection. We start our inspections on the inside, because you want to concentrate there more. It's actually harder to find them on the inside than it is on the exterior.
Got it.
You could basically just walk around your house if you know what you're looking for, as long as you have.
So what are we looking for? The tube?
Yes.
The tube.
The tube.
The brown tube.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
A brown
so
tube.
now-
It's pretty.
now-
They're on your website. Right?
Now, before when we were off camera, you were telling us a little bit about this tube that you found. It was probably big enough to be in the Guinness Book of Records.
It's close.
The biggest termite tube ever found on the planet.
Yeah, it's pretty big. In 1994, I was at elderly lady's home in Mesa, and her floor was
Falling
caving
apart.
in. So she called me out. I went over there. I pulled the skirting back, and I've been in it for 25 years and never seen anything like it. So I was marveled by it. I carefully took it out of the ground, and it stands about that tall, and it looks similar to a saguaro cactus, but it's probably about 6 inches.
And it was
8 inches
still
in diameter.
solid.
Yes, I actually put it in a cup, took it back to my office, and sprayed it with a clear lacquer so it would stay intact.
And that's
And I
where
still have it.
SOS became so strong, because that was definitely urgent. SOS is an urgent call. My floor's falling in. Now let's not wait that long before we call, okay?
Yeah, because you know what will happen. If your floor is in that bad of shape, Scott will come out with his team and take care of all the termites and stuff, and then I'll have to bring my team out. We'll have to rebuild the floor. So let's get them before the floor starts to fall apart, and then basically your house structure falls apart. And that's what will happen. And if we didn't go back in and rehabilitate this home, the house was well on its way for that to happen. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely in time. I mean, it's on the termite side time.
One other thing I want to advise all our viewers to do, make sure if you have a fireplace in your home and you go out and buy firewood, or if you go out and you chop wood, wherever you get it, do not put it against your home, because not only will the termites, if they come over to that side, they'll start chewing it, and you'll think, well, they're going to chew that before they chew my house. No, believe me, when they find wood, they're going to tell all their friends, and you're going to have a big problem. Like some of that wood we found that was loose outside the house.
Yep.
I mean, you think loose wood laying on the ground. We picked it up, it disintegrated in our hands.
Well, that was that old stuff way out in the yard. This isn't in close. This was out away.
So they were coming.
And you could kick that thing and it would just crumble.
Yeah, it just crumbled. So make sure you walk around your home, look for these termite tubes on your stem walls. Scott, tell us a little bit about the eradication of the bed bugs.
Okay, well, simply when we do a bed bug treatment in that particular application, we want to go in and vacuum everything. So if there are any live bed bugs, we'll vacuum them into a HEPA vac. Then we take what's called a cryo machine, and we freeze the areas where the bed bugs were. Then we run back over it with a vacuum cleaner again, and then put down a residual so that if there is anything that survives that, it will come out.
Now, suppose somebody who said, I heard vacuum cleaner, okay? Why the HEPA vacuum?
Because it doesn't let any diseases or anything go into the airborne. It basically keeps it clean. And we use that when we treat emergency rooms in hospitals.
Right.
That's part of our procedure.
And that's the type of information that the public needs to know as well, is because when we do lead paint abatement, same thing, use the HEPA vacuum.
Yeah. Keeps the air clean.
Exactly. How can our viewers locate you?
SOSexterminating.com or 480-497-1500.
Okay, and make sure you call SOS Exterminating for any critters or creatures that are not really on your tax return.
Or authorized.
Or authorized by
to be in your domicile.
the homeowner. Absolutely.
Stand by. We're going to head out to the field and get you some more good info.
All right, let's talk a moment about some wow factors and what could you do to spruce up your home. Maybe you've gotten a home recently that was a foreclosure or short sale, or maybe you just want to do something to make the home more you. How you could do that, one way is through tile and maybe some granite. One way that you could make that happen and become a reality in your home so that you can enjoy it for years to come is to contact our All-Pro resident panelist, Art Herrera from Custom Creative Marble and Granite.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for having me once again.
We're great to have you back on the show. Tell our viewers a little bit about Custom Creative Marble and Granite.
Custom Creative Marble and Granite, we started out as a very small company, as most people start out, literally with 3 employees. Right now, we're up to 25 employees, and we are extremely busy these days. So we are continuing to grow and continuing to hire quality people, as you can see by the work that we do. So
Obviously, Custom Creative Marble and Granite does all our image home improvement, kitchen and bathroom tile work and granite work. And believe me, the last project that Art and his team did for actually some close friends of mine in my old neighborhood went in and took some really bad work that somebody else did and actually went in and created the wow factor. And one of the comments that I had was, I can't even tell that they were here. And all I know is that the bad tile work is gone. And that was the only way they knew, because it looked like you had come in and did the whole project brand new from the start yourself. And now they can go out into their friends and neighbors and tell them, hey, come, and they can be proud of what they did. They come in and look at my kitchen.
yeah, exactly. And you know what happens is many times, as a lot of us do, you have friends and family that tell you, hey, I can do tile. You know, why pay somebody to do that? I can do it for you. And we all know how that goes,
right?
You know, and so that's, in this particular case, that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you can see the tile that it was just going up and
that's
down
those
and everywhere.
do-it-yourself projects that when you walk around the cabinet, it snags you. It says, come here.
That's
your clothes go.
And unfortunately, in this particular house, Steve and his crew did a beautiful job of installing brand new cabinets, and then my guys went in there and installed beautiful granite, but the backsplash was done by somebody that wasn't really qualified, and so that, you know, messed the whole thing up.
Messed the whole thing up.
Yeah.
You know, Steve, I've heard the same thing. Actually, he's my neighbor. So my store that's up there at Hayden and Raintree, he's just east of us. And, you know, we hear about his quality. And that is, there's a lot of guys out there. I was going to say, what makes you different out there? Because there's so many out there that are doing improvements and changing. You know, and what's neat is they do bathrooms, they do kitchen, they do stone, they do shower, tile, and everything. You know, tell them, I already know, tell them about what makes you different.
Well, most people tell us that it's because of our customer service. We actually walk with people through the granite selection, through the tile selection, through even the paint selection. And we really try to make it more personal. A lot of fabricators and people in the remodeling industry, they just tell you, go pick out what you like, come back to us, and then we'll install it.
Yeah,
well,
put it in.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we don't do that. We actually go through all the things with you, including the plumbing supplies as well. That's a big project that you're doing, and you're going to spend a lot of money. So it's worth it to spend the extra time with your customers and make sure that they understand the process, and you know, you coordinate things so that everything flows nicely.
Yes.
And so that's the biggest thing that that we do, along with our quality, of course. Quality is number one, and number two is our customer service.
Absolutely.
Because one of the things I've seen as an inspector, I'll be underneath the sink and be looking up and see daylight between the pieces of granite. I'm going, this just is not right.
Yeah.
That was secondary.
And you're absolutely right. And you know, people judge different projects and the different things that within the scope of work by certain things. One thing that homeowners look at when somebody comes in and installs a granite, besides they like what they chose, and then also they like the edging and the detail that they've chosen as well. But the first and foremost thing is that everybody comes up to me is when we go back in and says, they look at it and they say, you know, the seams are tight, and again, not only tight, but when there's an art, no pun intended, blending in two matching panels, especially in a corner where you've got to match the flow of each movement in each piece, so that when you put it together, the seam is tight, virtually unnoticeable, and yet the pattern looks like it all flows from one side into another. That's the mark of a great pro.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you know, we've all seen these horrible seams. Me being in the business, I see them everywhere I go. Restaurants, hotels, movie theaters, and I'm constantly criticizing the granite. My wife is tired of me doing that.
Art, you're just terrible. But that's the mark of a good craft. I do the same thing, so I understand completely. But for our viewers, how could they contact you so that their seams are great?
Yeah, well, you can reach us at 480-684-4084, and you can also go to our website at customcreativegranite.com. You're going to see some beautiful pictures before and afters so you can get it inspired.
Now stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Thanks to all our guests today. Great show. Guys, any closing thoughts?
I'm just so excited we're able to give people ideas to save you time and money and not hurt yourself while you're repairing your home.
And the best thing is knowing when to let a professional do it.
Absolutely, and that is key. Calling the professional when you know down deep, you get that inner feeling that I really can't do this. Check us out on the web at 1-800-AskAPro.tv. Remember, image is everything, especially when it comes to your home.